世界ボイス。
世界ボイス。世界ボイス。
My name is Joanna. I am from Portugal. I am 28 years old. Before I quit my job, I was a manager in a company. I work with human resources and purchases for company, analyze some data, yeah, all that stuff. More or less 1 month ago, I went to Japan for 19 days and I arrived in Tokyo where I spent 9 days. I did Mount Fuji and Nikko as a day trip, and I spent 2 days in Nagoya, 5 days in Kyoto where I did a Nara day trip, and Osaka for 4 days and Hiroshima for 1 day. Oh, my experience in Japan is beautiful. I love the country. I love the way that they live, all the mindset, like how politely they are, how they respect the others, and everything works so well. It's pretty cool. The food is amazing as well. I love the food. Sushi is like back home. I don't like sushi, and I started to like sushi in Japan, so it was pretty awesome. And I think the people is the most beautiful thing about Japan. No, I love fresh fish. Like, actually in Portugal we have a lot of fresh fish, but not sushi. Like the way, like in Portugal, the sushi is horrible if you compare with Japan. I think it's the rice. The way that they made the rice in Portugal is not good, and I just started to like it in Japan. Okay, so I tried puffer fish in Osaka. Yeah, it was okay, not like the best thing, but it was a nice experience. I tried, I can't remember the name, it is like an omelette. It is in Osaka as well. Okonomiyaki, I love that. And takoyaki as well was pretty awesome. Yeah, the food. So yeah, about the communication, it's said that they don't speak any English, but it's very like comprehensible because they have a lot of characters to learn about the Japanese language that they don't have time to learn another language. So the communication was a barrier, but I think they try always help you, and if you have like a Google Translate or an app that can translate your own language, it will be easier and will be okay. Okay, I started my trip in Thailand, Laos, I did Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, and all that 4 countries are very different from like Japan, South Korea, and even here, Hong Kong. I think the difference is because like the Southeast Asia, it's not so developed like it's here or Japan, but they are like beach countries, and in Japan and South Korea they are like city countries. So the life living is more rushy, and you have a lot of stuff to do. So I think like the Southeast Asia countries are more chill, and here there is more rush, but I love it, so it's pretty nice. I think the most suggestion that I can have is, I know it's hard, but it's to try to learn a little bit more English, even the basics, because everyone knows it's like the main language to communicate between 2 people, and I think you are very welcome even if you don't know the language. But if you could know, we'll be more comfortable to talk with foreigners people, and will be easier. If I could bring the dog to Japan, I will try to live in Japan for a while, yes, because I love the country. I am not sure about the rules in Japan to bring animals to the country, but like from Portugal it's like 15 hours flight, and I have to put my dog like in an airplane, and I don't want to submit him in all like flying 15 hours in a plane, and all the changes, all the stress that can cause to my dog. And when he got to Japan, I think he has to stay in quarantine for some days. So I don't want to submit him to that. But if it's not, if I didn't have a dog, maybe I will move to Japan. Yes. No, I completely love Japan. It was my favorite country in all of this trip. So.
Ron, 24, software engineer. My experience was interesting. 9 days in Tokyo only. Mostly meeting people in a meetup. Yeah, so you can go to like a coffee shop or something like that and talk with Japanese people. I spend a lot of time doing that, and then you can also hang out with them afterwards, like go to izakaya or something like that. And also the nightlife. Meeting the Japanese people was very interesting. I meet many open-minded people who are curious about foreigners. I hear a lot about the culture and the mindset, so it's very interesting. Actually, yes. About the police, they randomly pick me up in the subway station and ask me like some questions. Many questions, like where are you from, what are you doing here, show me everything, check everything I have. The police are very aggressive. Like they get very near you and like they block your way. No personal space, yeah. Philippines. People are really, really open and they are really enthusiastic about foreigners. And they know how to speak English, so it's very easy to communicate.
I'm Warner.
I'm Kelly. I'm the one.
We're from Canada, Montreal. It was a funny story. It was my friend came to my place. So I had a small party at my place, but then a lot of people didn't come. So one of the friends who came just randomly asked someone else to come, and that someone else brought her, and that's how we met. Yeah.
Just Tokyo.
It was so great. Everyone was so polite. Like, especially because we stayed in Hong Kong for a few days and then went to Tokyo. Everyone's super polite in Japan.
It's also like much more quieter.
Super quiet.
Yeah. Especially like on the metro. It was a culture shock for the both of us since no one really spoke on the metro. But like,
Interesting.
the washroom.
Oh,
The
yeah.
bathroom.
The most interesting fact that I found in Tokyo is that it's harder to find a trash can. Like every day we go out, I end up back at the hotel at night with like a bag full of my trash during the day because I can't find trash cans.
Oh, language barrier was an issue for me because I do have allergies. So I have like peanut allergies and like nuts allergies. So every time I went to like a restaurant, I would have to ask, but no one speaks English. So I would have to pull up my Google Translate and then I would have to communicate using the app.
No terrible experience. I guess it's just like around Shibuya, it's really, really crowded and it's all tourists. I personally don't like places that are way too crowded.
Yeah, I was able to eat like everything basically because Japan doesn't really use peanuts, so I was very fortunate that way. My favorite food was the sushi, like far and best sushi. Because in Montreal, like you don't get to eat authentic sushi, so going to Japan, I was able to like finally like taste authentic sushi. It tasted really different.
Yeah, I guess the sushi too. I mean, all food was good.
Yeah.
I didn't really encounter anything that was bad or that I didn't like.
Food was so cheap too. Very tasty.
She's been to Korea before.
Yeah, I've been to Hong Kong, Korea, China.
You've been to China?
Of course, I've been to China. I've been to Shanghai, Beijing, like all the big cities. But I don't really enjoy it there because I'm allergic to mosquitoes too. So every time I get bitten in China, like it would like swell up a lot. And that just ruined my whole experience. I feel like the mindset is very different from like the Western culture. Like here, there's a lot of things that you have to be mindful about. So like I'm sure like you know better than me.
I think she's more mentioning because I grew up until 9 in China and then I went to Canada. So sometimes when I come back to China to visit family, I think it's just you don't really have to worry about it as a tourist, but it's when you live there, there's a lot of customs that you have to follow. Like especially when you go out to eat with family or other people, maybe not with young people, but if you go out to eat with elders and stuff, whenever you put your drink with them, like there's a lot of social custom when you're like doing the cheers drink, you have to be lower than their cup. You have to always go lower than their cup. Otherwise it's considered really rude. I mean, I'm used to it, so it's okay, but like she's lived in Montreal.
I wouldn't know about like all the customs.
But I'm sure there's probably customs like this in Japan too.